Improve bone density, strength, balance, and overall longevity with OsteoStrong Hickory. Call 828-270-0918.
I'm Ralph Mangum for the WHKY News. This is our weekly look back at a few of the crime stories we had for you during the week of May 5th through May 9th. Let's get started.
The Statesville Police Department is asking for the public's assistance in identifying the driver of a vehicle involved in a school bus stop arm violation that occurred on Thursday, May 1st, shortly after 2:30 p.m. The incident took place in the 1100 block of South Meeting Street. A dark gray or black Volkswagen, believed to be a Jetta or Virtus, was observed illegally passing a stopped school bus that had its stop arm extended. The vehicle did not have a license plate displayed at the time of the violation. The Statesville Police Department is investigating this case and is urging anyone who may have seen the incident or has any information regarding the vehicle or its driver to contact the department immediately. Information can be shared by calling the Statesville Police Department at 704-878-3406. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY News. The Caldwell County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's assistance in finding a wanted person. Sheriff Kevin Bean announced that 41-year-old Jacob Andrew Bird of Hickory is currently wanted by the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office. Bird faces 2 counts of trafficking opium or heroin and 1 count of maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Jacob Andrew Bird, contact the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office at 828-758-2324. You can also call Crime Stoppers at 828-758-8300. You could be eligible for an award through Crime Stoppers, and you do not have to reveal your name. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY News.
The suspects in this case were both charged with multiple felony counts. During the investigation, police seized methamphetamine and a substance that was suspected to be fentanyl. The 2 suspects are scheduled to appear in court later this month. 33-year-old Kaylee Renee Allman of Glen Powell Avenue and 41-year-old Dustin Ray McCurry of Hawkins Drive, both from Morganton, were arrested by Burke County Sheriff's officers. Allman is charged with counts including felony possession with intent to sell and deliver methamphetamine and maintaining a vehicle for controlled substance. McCurry is charged with felony counts of trafficking fentanyl and possession with intent to sell and deliver fentanyl, along with a misdemeanor count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Last Wednesday, Burke County Sheriff's Office deputies initiated an investigation involving a suspicious vehicle at the Clear Creek access area of South Mountain State Park. The vehicle was occupied by Allman and McCurry. Due to suspicious behavior observed at the scene, deputies established probable cause to search the vehicle. During the search, deputies reportedly found approximately 13.59 grams of a substance that field tested positive for meth. They also found drug paraphernalia. This was in Allman's possession. McCurry was found in possession of drug paraphernalia and approximately 26.96 grams of a substance suspected to be fentanyl. Both Allman and McCurry were out on pretrial release at the time of this incident. As a result, they were not given a bond pending judicial review. They are both scheduled to appear in district court in Morganton May 22nd. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood. Authorities say that the victim in this case died as a result of an assault. 46-year-old Christopher Philip Irvin of Boone is charged with felony murder. That charge was filed by authorities in Watauga County. According to our news partner WACB, the victim in this case, 40-year-old Darian Lee Edwards of Hickory, was found unresponsive over the weekend. On Sunday at approximately 11:40 p.m., deputies with the Watauga County Sheriff's Office, the Boone Police Department, Watauga Medics, the Boone Fire Department, and Watauga Rescue responded to the area of Health Center Drive and White Laurel Lane following a report of an unresponsive male. The caller indicated the individual identified as Darian Lee Edwards was not conscious or breathing and that CPR had been initiated by a bystander. Investigators determined that the incident was the result of an assault. Despite extensive life-saving measures by medical personnel, Edwards passed away as a result of his injuries. Christopher Philip Irvin was taken into custody and was placed in the Watauga County Detention Center under a $1 million bond. A district court appearance is scheduled for this Friday. The Watauga County Sheriff's Office says if you have any information on this case, contact them. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
Joshua Andrew Moore and Jasmine Marie Webb are wanted in connection with a break-in and assault. At about 3:30 Monday morning, Iredell County deputies responded to a 911 call on Ginger Lane, east of Mooresville, in reference to a person who was stabbed. The female caller said a man identified as Joshua Andrew Moore broke through a door into her home. The caller said Moore assaulted her, and she defended herself by grabbing a knife and stabbing him. Moore left the scene before deputies arrived. Deputies learned Moore was accompanied by a female identified as Jasmine Marie Webb. Moore was found a short time later suffering from multiple stab wounds to his upper body. He was taken to a local medical facility for treatment of his wounds, which were determined to be non-life-threatening. Investigators recovered evidence from the scene, including the knife used by the victim and surveillance video. Investigators determined that Moore and Webb had forced their way into the victim's home. During the physical altercation, Moore forcibly took the victim's cell phone. Warrants were issued charging Moore with felony counts of first-degree burglary, larceny after breaking and entering, and aiding and abetting, along with a misdemeanor count of assault on a female. However, according to medical staff at the hospital, Moore left their facility before his treatment was completed. Warrants were also issued for Webb, charging her with felony counts of first-degree burglary and aiding and abetting, along with a misdemeanor count of simple assault. Anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Moore or Webb should call the Sheriff's Office 704-878-3100. 44-year-old Anthony McDorland of 4th Street Court Southwest in Hickory has been arrested by authorities in Iredell County on charges out of Catawba County. He's charged with 2 felony probation violations and possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine. Dorland was also charged with a misdemeanor count of possession of drug paraphernalia, and in Alexander County, he's charged with driving while license revoked. He's on probation as he serves a 24-month suspended sentence following a July 2024 conviction. That's in Catawba County for possession with intent to sell a Schedule II controlled substance. Dorland was jailed Tuesday in Catawba County with bond set at $50,500. He'll appear in Superior Court on June 26th in Newton with an Alexander County District Court date on June 2nd.
We previously reported on this case here on WHKY. The 2 suspects are charged in connection to a break into a home early Monday morning. One of the suspects was reportedly stabbed during the incident. He went to the hospital to be treated and then left the hospital before police could take him into custody. Both suspects were jailed without bond. The Iredell County Sheriff's Office arrested 37-year-old Joshua Andrew Moore and 30-year-old Jasmine Marie Webb, both of Mooresville. They were taken into custody on Tuesday. Moore was charged with felony counts of first-degree burglary and larceny after breaking and entering, along with misdemeanor counts of simple assault and assault on a female. Webb was charged with felony counts of first-degree burglary and aid and abet first-degree burglary, along with a misdemeanor count of assault. Moore and Webb were found hiding in a trailer behind a residence on Davis Trail Lane near Troutman. They faced charges in connection to a break-in at an address on Ginger Lane near Mooresville. The crime occurred at approximately 3 a.m. Monday. Moore was reportedly stabbed by the victim of the crime and went to the hospital. He left the hospital where he was being treated for non-life-threatening injuries before police could take him into custody. Early Tuesday morning, deputies established a perimeter around the property on Davis Trail Lane after detecting movement inside the trailer. Deputies instructed Moore to come out. He exited the trailer and surrendered before deputies entered the trailer and found Webb. Both suspects were placed in jail in Statesville without bond as they awaited Wednesday district court dates. The defendant in this case was charged in connection to a fatal crash in Catawba County last year. The victim in this case is an Alexander County resident. During the court session earlier this week, the parents of the victim spoke and expressed forgiveness. 31-year-old Stephanie Leanne Harris of Hickory was sentenced to 6 to 8 years in prison after she entered a guilty plea to felony death by vehicle, driving while impaired, and driving while license revoked. That plea was entered during Catawba County Superior Court on Tuesday. The victim in this case is 19-year-old Coble Hartman of Taylorsville. Hartman was riding a motorcycle along US 70 in Hickory on April 13th of last year when Harris made a left turn into his path at 11:37 p.m. The victim was taken to Catawba Valley Medical Center where he died as a result of his injuries. During a field sobriety test, Harris blew a .16 on the intoxilizer. The victim's father and mother addressed the court and the defendant. Jeff Hartman noted that he chose to love and forgive because that was what his son would have wanted, saying, quote, "He was the best of us," end quote. Carol Hartman said she wanted Harris to come away from the tragedy as, quote, "kinder, softer, and lighter," end quote, adding that her son would be the first to tell the defendant that things would be okay. The Hickory Police Department investigated this case. Reporting from the Catawba County Justice Center in Newton, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY News.
A local police official has been indicted in connection to his investigation in a cold murder case. According to our news partner WACB, Brookford Police Chief Willie Armstrong turned himself in to authorities in Catawba County Wednesday afternoon after a grand jury indicted him on charges accusing him of destroying evidence in a criminal case. Armstrong is charged with felony altering, stealing, or destroying criminal evidence and misdemeanor willful failure to discharge his duties. According to our news partner, grand jury indictments say Armstrong failed to preserve evidence in an audio recording he's accused of making in the more than 30-year-old cold case homicide of Dee Dee Dawkins. The 13-year-old's body was found along the Henry Fork River in Brookford in 1992. According to the published report, Armstrong said he believes the investigation by the State Bureau of Investigation is politically motivated and that agents executed the search warrant shortly after he announced plans to run for sheriff of Catawba County. Armstrong, who is not listed as an inmate in Catawba County, has been placed on paid administrative leave. He was scheduled to appear in Superior Court May 8th in Newton. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY News.
The defendant in this case is a Caldwell County resident. She was sentenced Thursday in Burke County to a minimum of 5 years in prison. The case dates back to 2023. 60-year-old Rosa Williams Hollifield of Hudson entered a guilty plea in Burke County Superior Court to 4 counts of felony indecent liberties with a minor. Hollifield entered the guilty plea Thursday and was sentenced to a minimum of 60 months or 5 years and a maximum of 108 months or 9 years in prison. A report was made to the Burke County Sheriff's Office on March 31st of 2023 of an alleged sexual assault of a child by an adult. An investigation was conducted, and after several interviews, a warrant for the arrest of Rosa Williams Hollifield was issued. She was arrested without incident on April 5th of 2023 and initially charged with 4 counts of statutory sexual offense with a person 15 years old or younger. So once again, a sentence of 5 to 9 years in prison for 60-year-old Rosa Williams Hollifield of Hudson. She was sentenced to that prison time in Burke County Superior Court on Thursday. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
27-year-old Joshua Breyer Nations of Maggie Valley has been arrested by Burke County Sheriff's officers on a number of felony sex offense charges, including 6 counts of statutory rape of a person 15 years of age or younger, 2 counts of statutory sexual offense with a person 15 years of age or younger, and 1 count of solicitation of a child by computer or other electronic devices to commit an unlawful sex act. Nations was also charged with 1 misdemeanor count of contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile. On May 2nd, the sheriff's office took a report regarding an alleged sexual assault involving a juvenile victim. Officers with the Criminal Investigations Division looked into the matter and charged Nations accordingly. Nations voluntarily surrendered on May 6th. Initially, he was jailed without bond. Following a bond hearing on May 7th, bond was set at $1.5 million secured. A court date was scheduled May 8th in Morganton. The investigation is ongoing. The Burke County Sheriff's Office expressed its appreciation to the Maggie Valley Police Department, the Morganton Department of Public Safety, and the Burke County Children's Advocacy Center.
A man reported to be a fugitive from another state was arrested by Taylorsville police. The suspect is wanted on charges connected to a minor being exposed to sexual material. 49-year-old Jesse Lee Trobe is listed as a fugitive from justice in Hancock County, Ohio. The charges pending are multiple counts of pandering of sexual material involving a minor. The offenses date back to 2024. Trobe, who is charged on a felony fugitive warrant, was jailed in the Alexander County Detention Center with bond listed at $250,000 secured. A district court date is scheduled for Monday, May 12th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY News.
23-year-old Matthew Elijah Newell of Sherrills Ford has been arrested and charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor indecent exposure and 2 counts of felony fleeing to elude arrest. His arrest is the result of an ongoing indecent exposure investigation. The Catawba County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's assistance in identifying additional victims. The reported incidents involve inappropriate and unlawful exposure at the Publix grocery store in Sherrills Ford. Investigating deputies believe additional incidents have not yet been reported. Newell was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $35,000 secured bond. He was scheduled to appear in court on May 9th. Anyone who may have witnessed suspicious behavior or believes they may have been a victim of indecent exposure involving Newell should contact the Sheriff's Office, 828-464-3112, or email klawrence@catawbacountync.gov. And that'll do it. That's our weekly review of some of the crime stories we had for you last week, May 5 through 9. The weekly summary is posted every Saturday on our YouTube channel, along with our top stories, the crime report, local sports, and community focus. I'm Ralph Mangum. Thank you all for watching the WHKY News.